Welcome to the broadcast. Kenya is the first African country to launch a generic version of a new HIV drug, first approved in the United States in 2013. Campaign groups have been pushing for the new drug to be offered to people in developing countries, as the drug is well tolerated and extremely effective. Our Foreign Affairs editor, Lillian Odera, begins our broadcast this afternoon.
Kenya is the first African country to start using a modern generic version of the latest HIV drug that can improve and prolong the lives of tens of thousands of people who suffer severe side effects and resistance to treatments. A generic version of DTG, first approved in the United States in 2013, is being given to 20,000 patients in Kenya before being rolled out in Nigeria and Uganda later this year with the backing of the health agency UNITAD. DTG, which was officially launched in Nairobi on Wednesday, is a drug of choice for people with HIV in high-income countries who have never taken antiretroviral therapy before, and for those who have developed resistance for other treatment.
This option can come with several advantages: more effective drugs, more effective regimen, fewer side effects, and name them. So to us, I think in HIV care, in TB care, there's a reason to celebrate.
Doties Togutu, who has been living with HIV for 15 years, started taking the drug this year. She said her viral load has fallen from 450,000 to 40,000 since she started on DTG and has not experienced side effects compared to her previous treatment regimen.
You have constant nightmares where you take the drugs and then you go to bed and you're just dreaming of weird things. You're either in a cemetery, or you're dreaming about snakes, or you're dreaming about dead people, or funny things, like things out of this world. Some people think it's a myth, but it's a reality that you actually get nightmares. And then with the efavirenz, I developed a condition of anemia because it would wear me out and it would drain me, and my body cells would not reproduce themselves. So unlike now that you can see me and my flesh looks full of life, you can't tell whether I'm sick or not, and else I tell you.
The brand name version for DTG is TVK. Sub-Saharan Africa has been at the epicenter of the HIV epidemic for decades and home to nearly 3/4 of all people with HIV and AIDS. UNAIDS aim to reach 90% of people diagnosed with HIV with antiretroviral treatment by 2020. In Kenya, about 1 million people are currently on antiretroviral treatment. DTG will first target about 27,000 people before being rolled out countrywide. Some HIV patients develop a resistance to ARV drugs, which means the medicines do not work on them.
85% suggests that the majority of patients are tolerating their treatment. Now, the 15% could be people who are non-adherent for various reasons, could be people who are experiencing toxicity, or could be people who failed for one way or the other for reasons that may not be clear. So I'd say that the majority of patients right now tolerate the drugs that they are on, that we currently use. And the reason that dolutegravir is exciting is that even more people will be able to tolerate it. So therefore it will work even better for the majority. There are other aspects of dolutegravir that is different from our current regimen, and that is that the drug itself is less likely to allow for viral resistance.
Kenya, with one of the world's largest HIV-positive populations, has made great strides in dealing with HIV.
All the 1.5 million people living with HIV need to be on treatment. As I mentioned, about 1 million and above are already on treatment. So we are looking for about 400,000, because some are already in the system and we are working them out. So it's becoming increasingly difficult to find the last 400,000 people, because some people living with HIV don't know that they have HIV. So in the same breath, we have therefore introduced self-testing so that Kenyans can get to know their HIV status. So with that in place, then the next frontier for HIV really is to to move to quality of
the number of
services
new
that we
infections
provide.
in Kenya has almost halved over the last decade to 80,000 a year.